Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, everybody. Today's Srimad Bhagavatam lecture is kind of a conclusive lecture of our week of Sankirtan seminar now, and especially dedicated to the motto, how to lovingly insist, we discussed yesterday and try to practice during the week. And for that reason, I choose the verse 35 from chapter number 2 in canto number 2, and it's on the board. Before we chant the verse, let us recite the auspicious mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavan Sarvabhuteshu Lakshita Svatmana Harihi Drishyair Buddhi Adipir Trashta Lakshanair Anuma Pakaihi Bhagavan Sarvabhuteshu Lakshita Svatmana Harihi Drishyair Buddhi Adipir Trashta Lakshanair Anuma Pakaihi. Hare Krishna, please.
Bhagavan Sarvabhuteshu Lakshita Svatmana Harihi Drishyer Buddhyadivir Drashta Lakshaner Anuma Pakaihi.
Ladies. Bhagavan Sarvabhuteshu Lakshita Svatmana Harihi Drishyair Buddhi Adipir Drashta Lakshanair Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Sarva, all. Bhuteshu, in the living entities. Lakshitaha, is visible. Sva-atmana, along with the self. Harihi, the Lord. Trishyaihi, by what is seen. Buddhi adibihi, by intelligence. Drashta, one who sees. Lakshanaihi, by different signs. Anumapakaihi, by hypothesis. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is in every living being along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. Purport. The general argument of the common man is that since the Lord is not visible to our eyes, how can one either surrender unto him or render transcendental loving service unto him? To such a common man, here is a practical suggestion given by Srila Shukadeva Goswami as to how one can perceive the Supreme Lord by reason and perception. Actually, the Lord is not perceivable by our present materialized senses, but when one is convinced of the presence of the Lord by a practical service attitude, there is a revelation by the Lord's mercy, and such a pure devotee of the Lord can perceive the Lord's presence always and everywhere. He can perceive that intelligence is the form direction of the Paramatma plenary portion of the personality of Godhead. The presence of Paramatma in everyone's company is not very difficult to realize, even for a common man. The procedure is as follows. One can perceive one's self-identification and feel positively that he exists. He may not feel it very abruptly, but by using a little intelligence, he can feel that he is not the body. He can feel that the hand, the leg, the head, the hair, and the limbs are all his bodily parts and parcels, but as such the hand, the leg, the head, etc. cannot be identified with the self. Therefore, just by using intelligence, he can distinguish and separate himself from other things that he sees. So the natural conclusion is that the living being, either man or beast, is the seer, and he sees besides himself all other things. So there is a difference between the seer and the seen. Now, by a little use of intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees the things beyond himself by ordinary vision has no power to see or to move independently. All our ordinary actions and perceptions depend on various forms of energy supplied to us by nature in various combinations. Our senses of perception and of action, that is to say, our 5 perceptive senses of 1 hearing, 2 touch, 3 sight, 4 taste, and 5 smell, as well as our 5 senses of action, namely 1 hands, 2 legs, 3 speech, 4 evacuation organs, and 5 reproductive organs, and also our 3 subtle senses, namely 1 mind, 2 intelligence, and 3 ego, 13 senses in all, are supplied to us by various arrangements of gross or subtle forms of natural energy. And it is equally evident that our objects of perception are nothing but the products of the inexhaustible permutations and combinations of the forms taken by natural energy. As this conclusively proves that the ordinary living being has no independent power of perception or of motion, and as we undoubtedly feel our existence being conditioned by nature's energy, we conclude that he who sees is spirit, and that the senses as well as the objects of perception are material. The spiritual quality of the seer is manifest in our dissatisfaction with the limited state of materially conditioned existence. That is the difference between spirit and matter. There are some less intelligent arguments that matter develops the power of seeing and moving as a certain organic development, but such an argument cannot be accepted because there is no experimental evidence that matter has anywhere produced a living entity. Trust no future, however pleasant. Idle talks regarding future development of matter into spirit are actually foolish, because no matter has ever developed the power of seeing or moving in any part of the world. Therefore, it is definite that matter and spirit are two different identities, and this conclusion is arrived by the use of intelligence. Now we come to the point that the things which are seen by a little use of intelligence cannot be animate unless we accept someone as the user of or director of the intelligence. Intelligence gives one direction like some higher authority, and the living being cannot see or move or eat or do anything without the use of intelligence. When one fails to take advantage of the intelligence, he becomes a deranged man, and so a living being is dependent on intelligence or the direction of a superior being. Such intelligence is all-pervading. Every living being has his intelligence, and this intelligence, being the direction of some higher authority, is just like a father giving direction to his son. The higher authority, who is present and residing within every individual living being, is the super self. So we stop here because it's a very long purport, and we will try to elaborate on this. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadandikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavan Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshita Svatmana Harihi Drishyair Buddhi Adipir Drashta Lakshanair Anuma Pakaihi. The personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is in every living being along with the individual soul, and this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. So, Hare Krishna, with the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and spiritual masters in our disciplic succession, we want to speak a little bit on this subject matter, also referring to Bhagavad Gita. For example, in Bhagavad Gita 16.8, where Krishna speaks on the divine and demoniac natures, there Prabhupada says, for them, for the demons, there is no difference between spirit and matter, and they do not accept the Supreme Spirit. So these two references from the Shastra, they fit very well together. We just heard in the Srimad Bhagavatam that intelligence is like actually a tool which the super soul uses in order to guide and direct the living entity. And just by appropriate use of intelligence, we can come up to the point of God consciousness. So this is a very interesting stage-by-stage sequence which Prabhupada gives in this purport. It starts with a very basic and simple thing, that everyone can understand that he exists, I am. And by the use of intelligence, we can understand, I'm not this body. I'm not my legs, I'm not my hands, and so on. We know that. And then the succession continues. The next point is, by use of intelligence, we can understand that we are even not independent in seeing or hearing or touching, and so on. This possibility is given to us by various forms of energy, Srila Prabhupada describes. So material energy, we understand this, our eyes, our senses, they are a particular form of material energy, and also what we perceive with our senses is there or exists because of various forms of material energy. So in this sense, we are not independent. And also we need intelligence in order to use material things or the material nature. So, and what does mean intelligence? Intelligence means there is someone standing behind it, an authority who is standing behind the intelligence, like a father. A father is directing and guiding the son. Do this, do not this. Do like this, do not like this. So, and this authority or this personality which stands behind this intelligence, this is the super self. This is the super soul. So this is actually the way how to explain to someone who says he does not believe in God, that God exists pretty rationally or, on a logical basis described. And Prabhupada makes the conclusion also in the Bhagavad Gita, in the last verse of chapter number 4, he gives this, I think, pretty well-known verse regarding whether to understand Bhagavad Gita or not to be able to understand Bhagavad Gita. He says, one who does not understand the instructions of the Gita is faithless and is to be considered to be misusing the fragmental independence awarded to him by the Lord. So now when we combine all this together, Krishna is kind of interested in guiding us by using the intelligence as a tool. And the final point in this sequence of the Srimad Bhagavatam verse is that we have the independence and we can say, yes, I understand this and I accept I am not a body. Makes complete sense, then let us continue. Or we can also say, yes, it makes sense, but still I want to live as if I were the body, because this I can do. This is the misuse of our independence and of our, so to say, possibility to use the intelligence. So in this regard, we can understand to become God conscious or to be someone who worships God, who has faith in God, is someone who appropriately and correctly uses his intelligence, which the super soul uses as a tool. And in this way, Srila Prabhupada also gives the answer to the question, why are we now separate from Krishna? And he very simply says, we are insisting. We are insisting towards Krishna, no, I want to come here. Krishna does not want us to come here, but we are insisting. I know it's not the spiritual world, I know, but still we want it. So we are insisting on misusing our independence. Quite a heavy point, and if we study it like this through this amazing verse in the second canto, I would say this is purport. If we read through it, it fits very well to the second canto, because the second canto is sometimes pretty heavy and pretty complicated stuff which Prabhupada gives to us. And but this is amazing. And so now, what's the whole point in it? It's up to what? It's up to change the whole process. We are insisting. Krishna gives us the opportunity to use the intelligence, to use things appropriately, but we are insisting. We understand this, but still I want to do differently. So this is our kind of our faulty, our mistake we do. And now the whole process is to turn it around, not to insist on foolishly using our intelligence and our independence, but just the contrary, to insist on Krishna. Krishna must be there. No, there must be Krishna, even if it's so hard and so difficult, but we insist on Krishna. So how do we do that? It sounds pretty like impossible nearly, because we are in this conditioned stage of life since time immemorial. Since time immemorial, we are insisting on the Supreme Lord. But dear Lord, I understand, this is completely logical, this makes completely sense, but I choose to misuse my independence. This I can do. Therefore, I want this. So now the thing is how to correct this. And this is actually what Sankirtan means. Since time immemorial, we are leading such a way of life as we are doing now. And then suddenly we join the Hare Krishna movement, we come to the ISKCON, and what we do, we go out on the street and we do a really heavy thing. Suddenly, we turn the whole thing around and we start insisting on Krishna in very difficult situations. People say no, people don't have time, people are especially not interested, people show no interest at all. It looks like as if it would not make sense to do it. But this is the wonderful and amazing thing. We are undergoing an extreme purification, and it's like a revolutionary activity. To go on Sankirtan and book distribution is an extremely revolutionary activity. We are declaring fight against our foolish nature of insisting towards Krishna, I want to misuse my intelligence and my independence. We are insisting on him like a child is insisting on the father. Now we are like determined, I want to turn it around again and insist on Krishna. And this is like the basis understanding on what Sankirtan mainly means, you know. We try so hard, we try everything. This week we spent like 6 days in learning how to insist on Krishna. You have to take the book. No matter if you cannot read, if you don't understand the language, if you never read a book, if you don't have money, that all doesn't matter. There's no reason why not to take the book. It's the right thing if you still take the book. And this is actually our challenge. And this is actually what it means. This is an amazing, revolutionary, so to say, mission that we are taking part in, that we have inhabited to intensely, despite difficulties, insisting on Krishna. And the wonderful thing we can experience on the street when we do this is not only that miraculously it is possible and it happens, but even a step further, as it is described in the scriptures, Krishna as the Supreme Lord is unconquerable. He cannot be conquered. He is the Supreme Lord. But still there is a way how to conquer Krishna. How can we conquer Krishna? By love, by bhakti, by loving devotional service. So the impersonalists, they want to become one with the Supreme Lord. And another religion, they pray to the Supreme Lord to give them their material needs and so on, and they worship the Lord in awe and reverence. But we don't want to become one with God. No, as Prabhupada describes, we want even to become more than God. We want to become more than Krishna. How to become more than Krishna? That Krishna becomes subordinate to you. He becomes inferior to his devotee. How should that be possible? Unheard in any kind of religion. Did we ever hear in the church a speech from the priest or from the Pope somewhere that says the goal of our life is to become more than God and conquer our God by loving devotion service? Never heard, unheard before. So this is the unique thing, and this is actually possible when we go out in the street and distribute books. It makes no sense that kind of people that we are meeting there outside sometimes. We have heard, don't make discriminations because of the body, because of what the people wear, no matter how demoniac they might be or how stupid or foolish they might be. The miracle happens that yesterday we heard some devotees explained how they deal with difficult persons. We heard yesterday very nice examples. That persons, if you would start an argumentation with them, there would be no chance of delivering any kind of missionary or religious message, you know. But still, if the Sankirtan devotee behaves appropriately, the miracle happens. This person takes a book and even renders service to the Lord and gives a donation. So how do we conquer Krishna in this act? So we can have with Krishna a type of exchange where Krishna lets us know and understand, my dear devotee, how did you do that? How did you bring this person back to me? This fallen, degraded person, you know, demoniac, and so much insisting on living independent towards the Lord, you know. But now he surrendered and he accepted the Lord. So this is an amazing exchange we can have with Krishna and we can experience with Krishna, that Krishna kind of wonders about what we are able to perform and do when all kinds of people, make this revolutionary activity of after so much time and so many years and so many life forms in the material world of insisting on by purpose living against the direction of Krishna to now turn towards Krishna. And this is actually what gives us the inspiration to do it more and more, to continue with it more and more. It's just natural for a Sankirtan devotee that it's difficult in the beginning of the day. Like yesterday we heard, we may start like in a confusing mood. So many people here, they're not interested, so much noise, and they're all busy going to work, no one stops and so on. But how the day of Sankirtan ends when we do the day, when we go into the day correctly, is always the same. It's always the same way how a day on Sankirtan ends. It's like this, in the end of the day, you think, it's amazing, tomorrow I will do exactly the same thing and I will start exactly where I ended today. Actually, I don't want to stop. I just want tomorrow wake up in the same mood as I am now and just continue with this. And then next day we wake up and the whole world is again completely different, We have to fight against Maya, we have to chant, we have to attend the morning program, and then we put us again out in the street, and starts the same way, difficult. In the middle of the day we might think, impossible, so difficult, actually, I don't want to do it, I want to go back in the temple and have a comfortable and easygoing spiritual life, so difficult. Somehow or other we continue, Krishna inspires us, and then comes a person and it's kind of nice. And then we continue, and finally in the end comes a really nice, wonderful person, and you experience, wow, it's so wonderful and nice. But unfortunately now we have to stop, and you go home and you think the same thing. Tomorrow I will do it again. And tomorrow the same thing starts, so difficult in the morning, you have to chant your rounds and all this. So in this way, this is the fight, it's an amazing, intense, revolutionary fight we are taking up in Krishna consciousness against this material energy, against Maya. But when we go on Sankirtan and book distribution, we directly fight against it. We take up this challenge and fight against Maya and want to conquer over Krishna, who is actually unconquerable. And this is quite difficult or nearly impossible to understand, but we are just here to experience it and taste it. So, we hope we could deliver some taste, and we got, at least in my case, I have to say, I got some taste in this week by the association with you. We thank you very much. So, there were different times in this movement where this mood was more present, more prominent, but that does not mean that this is completely gone or something. No, it's still there, and at least I feel like this. This mood is still here and still there, and it would be wonderful if we together can enlighten us and inspire us, and get dear to each other as Sankirtan devotees, and as those who are looking for the same thing. This nectar and the juice of book distribution, of Sankirtan, of going out, approaching people, and doing a really revolutionary thing to use our intelligence appropriately. We have also discovered this week, you learn so much on Sankirtan. You learn to deal with people in such a way you would never do that on a material platform. On a material platform, you would use like kind of psychological tricks or practices or whatever. But Sankirtan functions on another platform, on a wonderful natural platform, on a platform of humility, on a platform of the soul, and everyone can feel it. Everyone who is involved can understand it. This is a nice thing. It's nice to surrender to Krishna. It's nice to listen to Krishna. It's nice to use the intelligence as Krishna wants me to use it, and therefore we surrender to Krishna and we give up this rebellious mood of not following his guidance and now we want to insist that Krishna must be there. And we ourselves make most progress in this, isn't it? When we go out and Sankirtan, we think, let's save the world. Today I distributed 50 books, 100 books, and this is huge. This is the result. But actually, in the end, the result is that you became wonderfully purified, and you made really amazing progress in Krishna consciousness on that path, which we did not follow for so many lifetimes. Actually, it said since time immemorial. We are entangled in this material world. In other words, my conclusion of all this is to become a Sankirtan devotee, to go on Sankirtan in this movement is like you made a jackpot. This is really the jackpot, you know. This is really, really rare, and this is to be appreciated and valued a lot. And therefore, the motto is all glories to the Sankirtan devotees. We don't glorify ourselves, of course, but we understand the Sankirtan devotees are special, and still they are supposed to remain humble and see others also wonderful and special as devotees. But despite all this, still to go out on book distribution will always be special. It's very special, and let us continue somehow or other. Don't forget it. Don't let Maya overwhelm us, but let's fight against Maya and by lovingly insisting in Krishna and not misusing our independence and intelligence. Okay, Hare Krishna. That were some thoughts from my side for today's conclusion. Now we have some time if someone wants to share something, or maybe you want to correct some or other, please do so. Yes?
You were mentioning the point that it's great austerity and it requires a lot of surrender. And I wanted to ask you if you could go a little bit more into this direction, because I often hear that this is the most demanding service and you make the fastest progress. That's why I started it also. I went to the temple and asked them, how can I do the biggest advancement? And they told me, yeah, go on
Okay. Thank you. What's the difference between going on Sankirtan, being out on the street, and temple service? Okay. So as we heard, all services they have to be valued. To serve Krishna in any ways is glorious. Krishna is the absolute truth. So this is on an absolute platform. But still, at least the point, or the point I wanted to make today, or to try to find out myself more in detail through this philosophy, through the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam by Prabhupada, is that this what it really mean? What does it really mean? Why do we go out? Why do we distribute books? Why do we really do it? This should be the basic questions. Do you want to go out because you want to become purified as soon as possible, or as quick as possible, or as intensely as possible? You're ready for this. So that makes quite sense. That makes quite sense, because we are taking something up and doing something which, as I wanted to explain, we refused to do for so long. Something really unusual and which we are not used to. We are not used to insist on Krishna. We are just doing completely the opposite. We are insisting on doing the opposite what Krishna wants from us. It's not that we just neglect it and say, no, it's okay. We are insisting on it. You know? And now the heavy thing we are now doing is to turn it around. You know? So this thing by itself is heavy, but what kind of activity, service, or whatever, penance or austerity is that by which you achieve the opposite? And how heavy must it be for us? It's unimaginable, you know. But this is the point I wanted to make. This is actually what Sankirtan means. If you go out on the street, you learn to insist on Krishna. This is actually really the result of it. It's not how many books, how much Lakshmi and so on. The real result is you learn it's nice to insist on Krishna. The whole world says we are not interested. Still, we are insisting on Krishna. Krishna must be there. And we see this example in the Acharyas. Look how Prabhupada came. It's just exactly the same thing. Just imagine if Prabhupada would not have had this attitude of, no, it's just okay, it's just fine. Why to write a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam? Already so many Acharyas wrote a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. His godbrothers said to him, why you want to write another commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam? But he did not think like this. He insisted on it. It is the mission, it is the order of my spiritual master. He did not just accept it, he insisted on it. That needs some life. You need to have some life. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta, that's what he said. A preacher must have life. You can only preach if you have life. So this is the amazing and wonderful thing, even if you don't have life, but if you accept this one thing, let's go out on the street and distribute books, you will get life. You will get a life and you come onto this platform, even if you are completely unqualified. So this is actually behind understanding if we say, just go out on the street and distribute books. Go out on Sankirtan. What's the meaning behind it? It's amazingly deep, the meaning behind it. So this is actually one understanding I wanted to kind of emphasize a little bit. It's a really amazing revolutionary activity. On the other hand, then you must say, okay, how much do you insist on Krishna if you cook in the temple or do puchari service? Okay, now we can maybe elaborate on this. How difficult is this? How much do you have to insist that it must work? I have to continue, even if it's difficult. This is a lot there on Sankirtan. And sometimes to such a degree that you just cry. Sometimes to such a degree that you just break down on the street and you say, Krishna, it's finished, finito, it's impossible, I cannot anymore. At least I don't know about you, but just from my experience, I know such things, where the limits are clearly there, So how then to continue, it's like kind of impossible. But you can experience in Sankirtan, somehow it happens. Somehow you just continue, and somehow it even gets nectarian and ecstatic. And somehow in the end of the day you say even, I want to have more of this. Doesn't make any sense at all, If you look at a Sankirtan devotee from outside, everyone would say that doesn't make sense at all. You don't earn money, you give everything to the temple, you don't get an education or something, in the end you have nothing, why are you doing this? Everyone is just kind of spitting on you, neglecting you, No one is interested in it. You go out and preach, but no one wants to have it. I once had such a person, he observed me for 10 minutes. I was distributing on the street, and he was looking at me, and after 10 minutes he came to me. I never saw him before. I told him, excuse me, can I talk to you? And I go, yes, of course, sure. I watched you now for 10 minutes. And I saw that everyone just ran away. No one looked at you, no one stood, no one talked to you. Can you tell me, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then I thought, thank you for these questions, very nice. And I gave him the book in his hand, he had the book in his hand, we started to talk, And at a certain point, we were shortly before that point in the discussion where I wanted to introduce him into the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And we were shortly before chanting together Hare Krishna. And just shortly before we did it, and a homeless, a gypsy went by with a huge smile, as they have always, You know what's coming next, gypsy smiling at you, please give me something like this. And he went by, and I was smiling at him, and he was smiling at us, He thought, oh, nice, two people, they are talking, looks interesting, let's join them, So then we were standing 3 persons there. One gypsy, homeless, then this man who approached me, why am I doing this? And a few seconds later we were standing there together chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And everyone was smiling like this, The gypsy was smiling, he didn't know what's happening here, He just came there. And the other person also, he was chanting, and we were all kind of, nice, Hare Krishna. It's nice, wonderful. And then the gypsy went his way, and the person also, he kind of understood why I'm doing this. Just look at this man, It's not a businessman, he even doesn't have a job. But he can also join us. This is on another platform. We are speaking on the platform of the soul. This is the proof. Kind of Krishna sent him, He didn't understand my language. He didn't understand what I'm speaking, but he joined us in chanting Hare Krishna. And he was smiling, He was happy. So the man understood also, and I understood also in that moment. This is on another platform here. This is not on a philosophical, educational, or school platform or whatever. This is on another platform, a spiritual platform. So therefore you cannot understand why I'm doing this, because it's on another platform. And unfortunately we are not on that platform. So that was kind of like the proof. And then all of us kind of understood. The gypsy understood, yeah, nice. The other person also understood, okay, I don't understand why I'm doing it, but there is something in it. And I also understood, wow, cool, it's Krishna's end, this make this arrangement. So thank you, Krishna, for that. So, so this is on another platform. And we have to kind of, how to come on that platform, what to do to come on that platform. Even if it doesn't make sense and it's difficult. We somehow or other, this is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we learn how to insist on something which from a materialistic point of view does not make sense at all. And this is actually what it is. This is the way back to God, back to Krishna. You start insisting to something which from our point of view does not make any sense. What is the only way how to go back to Krishna? You must be greedy. That's the only price you have to pay, isn't it? If you want to go back to Krishna, you have to say, really, I want it. I want it under all circumstances. You can punish me, you can be absent from me, you can hurt me, whatever, but still, this is what I want. How to develop this? How to develop this? Yeah, of course, it's nice. Puchari service is wonderful, it's nice, purifying. This cooking for Krishna is nice, everything, temple is wonderful, it's nice. Still, but in that regard, and when you say Sankirtan is special, that is special. But there you directly go into this activity of insisting on something which is really kind of far away from us, from our understanding. And it's amazing to see, even if you don't have any qualification, everyone can do it. No, we're not saying you must have a special qualification in order to do that. I mean, this, when you understand, and this mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is so rare, this is so far away from us, kind of. We are so unused to this. We have forgotten Krishna so much. See, Krishna is in that regard so far away from us. But still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy means no matter how unqualified you are, everyone should do it. Everyone, just join, just do it. What you do? This is the Sankirtan movement, isn't it? You go out and Sankirtan, especially in a focused, condensed way, distribute books. Go out, learn how to distribute books. And it's the history proves it's working. In the beginning times, there was not such a seminar or teaching courses, what to speak, what not to speak. They just gave you a box of books, and they brought you into the middle of the center, and they said in the evening I come back again, and then I pick you up, and in the meanwhile distribute these books. How to do? I don't know. Just do it. And then you were standing there, no clue of how to distribute something, how to approach people, full of doubts, full of fear maybe in your heart, and all this, and then you're standing there, and what came in the end? They learned it. They did it. Impossible to distribute big books. They did it. They thought in the beginning how to distribute teachings of Lord Chaitanya, a big book, like unimaginable. They did it. They did not only that. We heard yesterday how to distribute in America. What they did in America, competition with each other. Temple against temple. Los Angeles and I don't know which temple. Rameshwara Prabhu and I don't know who in the other temple. I think we will beat you this marathon. We will do 2,000 books a day. Okay, let's see. And then sometimes in the night comes the call, how many did you do? well, we did not do so good. We did not, come on, how many did you do? No, it's not. I'm sure you have one, it's not so. We did only 2,500. What? How is it possible? It's unimaginable. Okay, I'll tell you. First of all came the police, then they imprisoned everyone, then they released them again, then they just continued. And then until midnight, they just continued, and they pushed it, and finally we got like 2,500 Maha big books in one day. Never heard before such stories. Wow, that's really amazing. But now tell, how much did you do? No, you have beaten us by far, like this. How much did you do? No, we did only 3,000. What? I think, no, my goodness, how is that possible? So and this happened, You can listen to this. You can dive into it. It's fantastic. These lectures and these descriptions are amazing. How is it possible? It's actually impossible. Prabhupada himself was wondering about it. He heard how devotees are distributing books. The police came, they were imprisoned, demonic people would come, they would beat the Sangeetam devotees. Prabhupada heard it all, and he was astonished. It was himself. He liked to listen to it, but he was really astonished by himself, and was appreciating very much. Wow, the Sangeetam devotees. So they are special. Sangeetam devotees are special, and nowadays you see that also. If you go to a temple, that's just a fact. If you go into a temple and there comes some elderly devotee, like 40, 50 years, maybe 60 something, never seen before, But the first moment you see him, this is a special devotee, And then you talk to others, who is this? You don't know him. This is he, and he was Sangeetam devotee in these decades. Wow, such a glowing in their eyes, Nowadays they might not even practice anymore. Could also be possible, but still, they are so special. They have something very special and convincing at them, And this is the special thing at Sangeetam devotees. They have it, This shining in their eyes, this smile when they just go into the door somewhere, Hello, Haribol, I brought something for you, like this, Once I met Harinamananda Prabhu here in Rapasville. I was distributing there, and I never met him before. I didn't even know how he looks like. I only heard about him, so many stories, of course. And then I was distributing there in Rapasville, no one on the street. And then suddenly I saw someone with some records in his hands, And he came to me and he looked at me. I said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm distributing books here. Where are you from? I'm from Germany. Simhachalam? Yeah, Simhachalam. You know Simhachalam? Yeah. What are you doing? You're distributing also? Yeah, I'm only doing records. I did books a little bit in the past, and so we talked like this. And then he saw my trolley. It was such a big trolley, He was astonished. What? This is your trolley? Not bad, And then I told him, what's your name? Can you tell me your name? I said, Hari. Hari, you are Harinamananda? I said, it's okay. Oh, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, it's so wonderful to meet you here, And then we distributed the whole day in the same village, Sometimes he would walk around, I would walk around, and sometimes he would walk around the corner, and when he would walk around the corner, it was really as if the sun would go up, And we would walk around with the hands like this, Haribol, It was as if the sun would start shining. And in this way, he talked also to people, Very unique, very special. Like Sangeetam devotees cannot hide. They are like the sun. They are shining, they have an effulgence. Even if they try to hide, you cannot hide them. Everyone knows it immediately. This is a Sangeetam devotee, It's obvious. So it's really special, and it's not the only experience in that regard. I've also with another Sangeetam devotee here from Switzerland, I have such an intense experience. I saw him for the first time. I never saw a picture of him. I heard his name. But immediately when I saw him for the first time, I thought, wow, who is this, It's like you know him from somewhere. And who is this? And then even once I asked him, what's your name? Just like this boldly. And he told me his name. Oh, wow, this is Hare Krishna, But immediately the first time I see such a person, but this is really special, So therefore, Sangeetam is special completely. So how to explain it? How to do it without minimizing the others. We don't want to minimize other services. We don't want to do that at all because we are all in the same boat, so to say. But still, Manira Prabhu makes always the point, but still, Sangeetam is special. Every service is an absolute platform. Every service to Krishna is wonderful. All glories to all the devotees. But then in the end, but still, Sangeetam is special. This is the thing. Well, yeah, I don't know what to say more. Maybe you can say more to that. Or maybe you can say more to that. Maybe you can say more to that, yeah?
Personally, I think it's not exactly just about books. I think Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who preaches is very dear to him. And I still know that whoever goes outside it's fine, no?
Mm.
You sacrifice more, you get more advancement. And of course, when you're a new devotee, go out in books, that's big thing. That's a really big thing. Go out on your own.
Okay. Yeah, maybe someone else would like to say something. Huh? Bhakti Labhya Prabhu.
Yeah, he was using a word very important. The service, any service has to support the mission, then it's connected. And then another word was surrendering. And any service there is some kind of surrender. Even sacrifice.
would be the ideal, isn't it? But must-
I just wanted to say that I heard for the first time this expression, insist on Krishna. I like.
Mm.
And I was waiting maybe to hear about the compassion we may develop for the people. Like this, if you have also this type of feeling for the people we are approaching, and not as a
Mm.
to add the compassion to insist on Krishna.
Mhm. Insist on Krishna with compassion.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I wanted to know where you heard about this expression, to be more than Krishna.
Actually, this is also Prabhupada speaks like this when he speaks on, especially the impersonalists. They want to become one with the Lord. But then Prabhupada says, yeah, but a devotee, he really wants to become more. We want to become more than the Lord. And he gives the example like, yeah, of course, Mother Yashoda, the parents of Krishna, they are like telling him what to do. You are in a superior position, so to say, than as God is. And of course, the cowherd boyfriends, they're playing with Krishna. And sometimes Krishna would take one of his friends on his shoulders and carrying him around. So what does one have to do? What does one have to do in order to come to such a platform? The Mayavadis, they are undergoing so much penance and austerities and studying the Vedanta in order to become one with God. But what does one have to do in order to conquer the Lord in such a way that you can carry the Brahman, that the Brahman carries you on his shoulders, like this he says. So what do you have to do in order? This is actually what we are intending to achieve. We want to love Krishna in such a way in order to achieve that position. And then Prabhupada, he asks a question. Only after many, many lifetimes of pious activities, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, one achieves this, achieves pure devotion to him. So what kind of pious activity one has to do in order to attain such a position as the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna attain in the spiritual world? Playing with him, joking with him, talking with him, eating with him, stealing his lunch bag, and like this. What kind of pious activity is this? And then Prabhupada says, is chant Hare Krishna, be happy, and spread it. This is this pious activity. In other words, go out and preach. Then you can attain this position of conquering over Krishna and be in association of Krishna in such a way. And the others, they are undergoing lifetimes of penances and austerities to not at all come into such a platform. So what an amazing mercy is this movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, isn't it? If you participate in it somehow or other, as you said, somehow or other in preaching. Of course, we don't everything which is connected with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching mission to spread the holy name. That is what it means. So, and Prabhupada says like this also in the lecture. We come to conquer over Lord. They want to become one with him, we want to become even more, so to say, in that regard. So we should not understand it wrongly that we come on the same platform as him. As Jivas, we are always Jivas. We will never be bigger than God. But in the sense of devotion and service and love towards him, we can conquer over Krishna. And this is actually what he also wants. Like a few days ago we spoke on this verse. Krishna says, no one knows me in truth. Then the question is, okay, Krishna wants to be known in truth, but what does he mean with in truth? Does it mean you need to understand how amazing, great he is, like worshipped in Vaikuntha? I personally find it very attractive, life in Vaikuntha. Wow, the Supreme Lord, Narayan Vishnu, a huge form of the Lord, with jewelries and silk and amazing effulgence, unlimited qualities, and you're worshipping the Lord with auspicious mantras, and everyone like this in Vaikuntha, wow, amazing. Is this what he means? No, but then he will say in Goloka Vrindavan, this is actually not so important. This sweet exchange with Krishna as it is in Goloka Vrindavan, how to attain this, unimaginable, as well for us, unimaginable, how to attain this. But this is actually also what the Sankirtan movement means, isn't it? If you participate in the Sankirtan, you will become qualified to exchange with Krishna in such a way. You will learn how to become an inhabitant of Vrindavan by participating in the Sankirtan movement. Going out on the streets, spreading the Lord's glories, especially in a focused way, meaning go out and book distribution, means you work on yourself in order to become qualified to become an inhabitant of Goloka Vrindavan. To develop this mood, At least I get this impression from this service when I do it, and as I did it so far. Many times we hear we have to cultivate it, we have to work on it somehow or other. You have to, somehow or other cultivate it. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is, participate in this spreading of Krishna's holy name and give it to others. This is the pious activity which make it possible for you to even conquer Krishna, like this. Okay, Maike wanted to say something.
Yeah, just I wanted to share my idea that I had when I was distributing for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And just this idea that you could make postcards with quotes, so it makes it easier to come in contact, and it's not preaching, it's just giving an opportunity to speak, discuss.
Cards with quotes on it.
Yeah.
Did understand? Okay.
From the Bhagavad Gita
Mm-hmm.
or something. Might be in Sanskrit, in English, in German, or whatever. And you can give it easily. You can talk about it. They might send it to another person or put it on the wall.
Okay, thank you. Then you wanted to say something?
Thank you so much for your lecture and also the whole seminar. It was wonderful and very inspiring for Sankirtan. And we can really see that it's really your thing and that inspires us also very much. To the point that we were making, I'm thinking a lot about
Mm.
to go on with this most important. So isn't it that Krishna just really wants you to do this particular service that only you can do in this way for him, and he's like he's the most pleased if we are doing our part of doing it for him. So isn't it beautiful this way?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can shed light on this.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that thought. Important point. Of course, we have this, but we have this, so to say, order given by Srila Prabhupada, or this desire from him that everyone should learn the art of book distribution. So meaning every devotee should somehow or other participate in this engagement to distribute books. But that does not mean that everyone should do it in spite of his inclination towards, for example, doing Puchari Seva, mainly. I know also devotees, they know that this is their service, and this is what they want to do. But still, they went on book distribution for even quite some years, because this is like the process. You might be a puchari naturally or a cook naturally, but still you are advised to go out and distribute books for your training in Krishna consciousness. So, and of course, we don't preach like this, that this is what you should do and don't do anything else. No. If you are a puchari naturally or cook naturally, it's super. Go for this. And I never experienced that we are, preaching, or we are telling others that they should at all means be a Sankirtan devotee and distribute books, no matter what they want to do. I never experienced this. So this is one thing. Yeah, and of course, everyone thinks his service is the best, as you said. And also then Krishna gives us the hints in the scriptures, whatever your position is in which you are in, be satisfied with this. Be satisfied with it, accept it, but on the other hand, simultaneously hear about the Lord, perform devotional service, and then your position might be changed according to Krishna's will when the time is there. But just accept your position. So that is one thought of mine. And please Krishna in that position, yeah?
I wanted to say that most of us, we got in touch with Krishna by a book. That's why I'm completely convinced that this book distribution is origin.
Books are the basis.
Mm-hmm.
We read and we live. We don't live. Prabhupada saying, if you stop book distribution, there will not be any moral in the world. We need it. Why is so important?
Okay. You wanted to say something? Yeah.
I just have a question. I didn't really understand the definition of intelligence. Because you said that with our intelligence we can reach Krishna, right? But in Srimad Bhagavatam it said that, for example, women are less intelligent. Does it mean then it's harder for us to reach Krishna?
Okay. You can see this here on the screen, yeah.
Yes.
So this is just a summary of this purport. A living being is dependent on intelligence or the direction of a superior being, the higher authority who is present and residing within every individual living being is the super self. By taking advantage of the guidance of super self in the form of intelligence, we can either continue to study and to put into practice our conclusion that I am not this body, or we can choose to remain in the false material identification, fancying ourselves to be the possessors and doers. So by taking advantage of the guidance of the super soul in the form of intelligence, we can either continue. So maybe this your question, kind of what is the intelligence, or?
Yes, but I'm still not really sure why then women are less intelligent, so why is it considered that they are less intelligent?
Okay, I think this is a topic for another seminar, even not only a lecture, but a topic for another seminar. And I would advise you, please take advantage of this opportunity here now and ask Devaki Mataji exactly this question. I would suggest this to you. Okay? Then let us stop here. It's already far over time. So thank you very much. Grandala Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
Kripasindhu Prabhu ki jai.
They